I guess it's time to do what I do. I'm very tired. Somebody remind me to send an email off. I need to send an email off. Hold on. All right. I got the chat up. I'm ready today. I got the chat up. Keep that up right there. All right. Yesterday when I left, oh, I'm so tired. Yesterday when I left, I guess I said we was going to talk about the possibility of our leaders practicing Satanism, right? Because in all actuality, the great William Cooper, Bill Cooper, who is the author of Behold the Pale Horse, he spoke about that in his book. So we know there are some levels of some records of people in the military and high government practicing Satanism. Does that really shock me though? It doesn't. Not for me. Frankie was good, bro. I was thinking about you today. I'm like, where the hell Frankie been at, blood? I know you got the family thing going on. Good to, you got work. You can't sit up here and talk to your phone all day like some people I know. You understand? And I get it. So all type of bills to be paid. You can't be sitting here delusional talking to your phone, blood. Chris Layer says, "What's the topics?" Well, hold up. Let me say your name right for Uncle Andy. Say, yo, clean your glasses, bro. Chris Leva. Where you from, bro? You Greek? Chris, where you from? Good morning, Uncle Andy. Topic is aliens and elves. That's what they wanted to talk about yesterday. Hold on. Let me go get the. Give me a second. Let me go get a book real quick. Now, this is Behold the Pale Horse. I tore some of the pages out so that I can make copies of certain chapters for people on some other old videos I was doing. But this here is Behold the Pale Horse. I was introduced to this book over 25 years ago by the rapper Coolio. I used to have a public access show, and I was a young guy, 18, 19. And I would interview the hip hop stars, Fool Schnickens, Noriega. I was supposed to do Jay-Z. He was supposed to come to my house and do that interview, and it was a blizzard that day. And my mom was cooking all type of chicken, and I didn't even know who Jay-Z was, but some people knew who he was. And they was like, "Nah, he's dope. Son is dope." I'm like, "All right, cool." Like, this is before Tigger did it, and I was like, "Tell his management. I'm gonna just tell his management to come to my house instead of like, because we did it at the high school, Mount Vernon High School. I'm like, I'm just gonna tell them to come to my house." They was with it. I'm like, "Yo, this is gonna be crazy," and it blizzard that day. And it was like, "Yo, we can't make it." And I was like, "Oh." And then I seen Tigger do the idea, and I'm like, "Yo, this is crazy. The hell is going on?" But anyway, I ended up working with Jay-Z anyway. He even took me to the studio. But that's neither here nor there. It's neither here nor there. Let's not get distracted. What I was telling you was I had a public access show. And so I've been doing this for a little minute. Right? I've been doing this for a little minute. Um, I go down to interview somebody. Coolio's down there. I don't know why he told me this, but he put me onto this book. And I didn't forget. And when I went to go get the book, you know, I never read this book straight through. It's always I'm reading a chapter here, then I jump to this chapter over here. So a lot of the stuff, like even take Choosy Heretics, right? What does that say right there? That's the oath of initiation. So a lot of this stuff I had already knew about, but again, um, a lot of information you got to take. First of all, you got to take into context. Second of all, it's not common knowledge. So when you go around saying these things, you sound crazy. At first I felt really strong about all the information I was getting when I was younger. And I used to run around and, you know, get into all these barbershop conversations. And first thing first, this is before I entered the mystery school, right? So when I'm running around arguing with everybody, having these conversations, you don't really see yourself like the rest of the world see you. And then when I entered into the mystery school, which was later in my life, like after 28, right? I might have entered into the mystery school maybe 30, at the age of 30, somewhere around there. I believe. I do think that's correct. And then the first thing the mystery school is really going to teach you is know thyself. Like that. I don't know what mystery schools you guys went to, what fraternities you went to, but if you went to any fraternity, and if you're part of any fraternity, the chances are that they taught you know thyself first. You know what I'm saying? Know thyself, and you will know the gods, right? And by the way, this conversation is not for everybody. So oh, you from California? No, that's not what I meant. I meant like, what nationality are you? But I like that though, right? But what nationality are you? Um, what's your race? Where your people from? Right? Can you trace it back? Get out of here. You're Mexican American in California? Holy smokes. I surprise myself every day. I got the Vatos over here, bro. Holy smokes. Yo, that's big respect, man. Y'all tapping in. Um, I used to live in California, so viewing the New York Mexican and going to California and seeing the California Mexican, as ignorant as it sounds, they're not the same. It's not. Unfortunately, they're not the same, right? And you like you just gotta be there. You just gotta see it. It's not California is a different life, bro. Everything. The New York Asian is not the California Asian. Right? None of that, bro. None of that. Shit is serious in California, bro. Shit is serious, right? Not saying that the Asians is suckers over here. Not saying that the Mexicans is suckers. But what I'm telling you is, you may run down on the Asian dude over here in Queens. He might give you the fair one, give you fight back and all that. It should be different in California, bro. You might run down on one Asian dude and style on him, and this dude return with like 50 Honda Accords on you, bro. Shit is real. You don't know who you just offended. Shit be real like that in California, bro. Yeah, you can't. I know. You can't put everybody in the same category, Chris. I know that, bro. You can't. Um, when I moved to California, the first thing they told me is like, don't mess with the Mexicans because they don't. I didn't understand the culture. It was like, yo, we don't get along. And me being me, I didn't really buy that either, right? I didn't like that. That's not who I am, right? I'm like, what? They put emphasis on that. Nah, just, you know what I'm saying? Like, Whoever you deal with any women, just leave the Mexicans alone. Can I help that my first California girlfriend was Mexican? Bro, it just happened. It just happened. Her name was Lupe. Shout out to Lupe. Anyway, Chris, talk about we talk about aliens today. The prison barber hat. Yeah. This guy. What's up, this guy? This is what they wanted to talk about. So I left off yesterday, right? Oh, let me do the disclaimer. My name is Jamel Saladin. This is Poker Face Society. You don't have to stay for this show, right? They might not even push this show. You don't have to watch this show in the replay because it's not for everybody. And the reason I'm saying that right now is because you will hear some things that you never heard before. And sometimes you get these religious people who don't want to think outside of the context, right? Especially if it's coming from someone that's not in a white lab coat. I'm not in a white lab coat. You understand? And by the white lab coat, I mean that's a symbol for authority. When I say white lab coat, if it's not coming from someone with authority, then they don't really want to hear it. And even when it comes from someone with authority, sometimes they still don't want to hear it, right? The Pope already told y'all that there's extraterrestrials. The Pope already tried to warn you guys what was coming down the pipeline. You still in by it. So a lot of times when I talk on topics, I really don't want certain people in here, right? This is a red pill show today. If you're overzealous about your religion, chances are, because I don't really need you telling me Jesus is king and all this other stuff. If you know he's king, that's all that really matters. You understand? And you don't have to be here. There's like there's millions of YouTube channels. Not today. Not today. Not today. So, I just wanted to say that first before I even start. Second thing I want to say is I started around 8:30 something. I probably won't get to the meat and potatoes to about 9:30 something. Right? Because it takes me an hour to get out the preliminary ramble. And then, like the last hour, the last 45 minutes, I kind of like go in, right? So if you want to go and come back, you could do that. If you want to stay and hear the whole thing so you understand everything, that's cool too. I'm not gonna rush the show. I'm really not doing this show for views today. I'm doing the show because when I got off yesterday, you guys said you wanted to talk about aliens. And I said okay, and I was also prepared to talk about the satanic rituals, but I don't think both of them are going to be good. Like I won't have enough time. But I just got this book, and I just wanted to briefly go over this chapter right here. I'm just going to show you the chapter, and then we can move on. And this book is by the great Bill Cooper. All right, so this is chapter 16, right? And it says something about documentary. I can't read backwards. So it says documentation, U.S. Army intelligence connection with the Satanic Church. So if you don't know who Bill Cooper is or was, he was in my opinion, I always call him an American hero. Why do I call him that? Because he actually he was in the Navy with high security clearance. He had access to a lot of information, and just like Jack Teixeira, he decided the people of the United States need to know this, and he put it all on the line and took a lot of these documents. Hold on, you're getting a ride for me today to the doctor. Hello? All right. I'll be there soon. All right. They be calling me. You supposed to be at the doctor. Uh, I will not be there soon because I'm sitting here talking to you about God knows what. I'll be there when I be there though. All right. So anyway, let's just finish out this here what I was talking about. Yesterday, I told you guys I don't mind talking about the connection between the Satanic Church and the history of the military, Department of Defense, the government being involved, right? So I just wanted to give you some sources of people saying, and I spoke about Bill Cooper. I was saying that he was a Navy intelligence officer with top security clearance, and he took the information and he wrote a book. And some say they killed him for it. You understand? And thus, I call him an American hero. Now, in this book, he does talk about aliens. He talks about a lot of stuff in this book. I'm not going to hold you. Some of it came true. And most of it is becoming true. And some of it was found to be, he wasn't lying. So he talks about the invention of AIDS in here. There's a lot of stuff he talks about. You guys can go check that out. So as I was preparing for the show, I said you can't talk about both. You can't talk about because that you don't even have enough time to really get into this, right? So you gotta have to like choose what you're gonna talk about. So I said, all right, I'll try to talk about the aliens and the. So when you see ELF up there, ELF does not stand for whatever you think, like the elves with the pointy ears and all of that, right? ELF is an acronym for electromagnetic low frequency. Now, it is very important that you know about that. Electromagnetic low frequencies. This is a very powerful frequency that can actually, no conspiracy theory, allow access to the human body, right? So now the science, MacMean was good with you. MacMean in the building. Here's the Pentagon's, last hearing on the UFOs. Yeah. We're going to get there. This is why I'm taking it slow, Mac, because you have to anticipate cognitive dissonance. People kicking in, there's no such thing as aliens. I remember there's another guy in another section of YouTube. And it doesn't matter what his name is, but he does all right over there in that section of YouTube. And he was talking about me one day. And he said, yeah, this guy's over there talking about aliens. and I laughed, right? Not that he was talking about something much better, because he wasn't. But I laughed because the ignorance. Ignorance is bliss, but it's sometimes you could be so stupid. And when I use that word, I'm talking about because ignorance is stupid is different. Ignorance, you just don't know, right? Stupid, you think you know everything. And then come to find out, you don't even know what you're saying don't exist, really exist. Everyone said it. Pope said it, government said it, everybody said it. You just don't know. Then you got the nerve to judge somebody else, right? But that's one of the other things about having knowledge. It'd be a lonely road because you'll know things that everybody else, not that they just don't know, that they don't understand. So who you going to talk to about this? You understand? If 80% of the people, they don't have no knowledge of this, blood. Who you going to talk to? They don't understand what you're talking about, right? So you definitely going to come off weird to them. You're not their type of vibe. You're not None of that, right? So don't try to fit in. Don't try to fit in, right? I'm talking to my tribe today. Because whoever is tapped in over here is obviously listening for a reason. That means you different. I'm not trying to gas you up. I'm just saying you different. Right? So you may feel that loneliness. You may feel isolation. Yeah, well, it comes with who you are. Sadly, it comes with who you are. You're not like everybody else. So don't try to fit in with everybody else. We're going to talk about a lot today. But I think I'll just start with, I was telling you guys I went to a mystery school at like age of 30. First, I tried to join this first mystery school or fraternity. I'm going to call it a fraternity. Because I don't know if they're a true mystery school. And they came to my house and interviewed me, this, that, and the third. They said we'll be in contact. I think it was a few months went by. Few, maybe 6. They was on the slower side of things. And it was confusing because we were supposed to, it's like we started and then we just stopped. Right? So it's like I did an initiation, but then we just stopped. Like nothing happened. And when I say nothing, like nothing happened. But tell you the truth today. Only the truth. They were a sloppy people. I don't know if the outfit was supposed to be, I don't know if the organization was supposed to be ran like that. And today that pisses me off more because I would rather young people join a fraternity where they could get knowledge rather than join a gang. But if you're going to be sloppy about initiation, then I'm not going to tell them to do anything. Fuck it. I tell them to come over here and join the Poker Face Society before I tell them to join any of that shit because you're not taking it serious, right? People like to join a lot of associations because of the network system and maybe they could get out of some tickets or some dumb shit, right? But not that. There was never my mindset. Never once. So as a ritual, as you guys probably seen on the internet, some of these rituals have blindfolds and all that other stuff, right? So in this particular case, I did have on a blindfold. But they didn't even tie it right, right? It's fucking crazy. And because they didn't tie it right, because like I said, they were very sloppy. They weren't efficient. I don't know if I was supposed to see this book. But because you didn't tie my blindfold on right, and it was done so sloppily, I did see the book. Right? So, I kid you not, what I'm telling you is the truth. That was the first and last, that was like the first and last day I ever been there. After that, it was no communication. It was communication. They reached out approximately a year later and was like, "Hey, brother Jamel, we sorry for the long pause, but we back and we ready. If you're still interested." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm not interested anymore. Right? Like, I'm good. I thank you, appreciate it. I'm good." It was like, "All right, if you change your mind, thank you." Right? I hang up the phone. I'm like, I won't be changing my mind. One of the reasons I wasn't going to change my mind was because it took so long for them to get back to me. I just went and got the book. I'm like, I don't know what book that was that they had, but I'm just going to go get the book. I didn't understand the book. There's a name up here. Israel Regardie. So that was like kind of where I started, right? So now I got to start educating myself on some things. And then that took me down a rabbit hole. Like you guys don't even know. Like I knew nothing about Aleister Crowley. I knew nothing about none of this. None of it, bro. So it was kind of mind blowing, right? Then when you start to learn about this stuff, now you can understand different things that's been around you the whole time. Right? The deeper you go into the understanding of things, it may be a symbol. You be like, oh snap. Now you understand the symbols. Right? It may be geometry, the way something is built, the way a building is built, the designs in the building. You start to understand it all. You're like, holy smokes. It's a secret language. But again, you can't talk to nobody about it because everybody don't know, right? So, so my whole thing was, before I get to my whole thing, let me take it slower. I'm kind of like teaching myself, but I don't got no school yet. I still don't got no school. And I'm not going back to the place that left me out there for a year. Like, I'm not doing that. Y'all on a different level, right? Yeah, whatever y'all doing, y'all can keep that over there. That's not what I'm seeking. I'm seeking something else that I need an answer to. Then, from reading that book, I come into this book, right? I come into this book. This book was actually, this book explains whatever it was that book was trying to tell me. I didn't understand that. I understood some of the things. That is a great history, though. This is a great history, and this is very thorough and it's in depth, and there's a lot going on there, right? And I don't suggest you run out and go get that book, right? There's levels to what's happening here. I'm just trying to explain to you my journey. There's a lot going on. So there's words in here that I will not say out loud. And then when you read the Bible and it says in the beginning was the Word and the Word was God. Like there's a lot to it that they give you. They give you milk in a lot of these religions. You wouldn't even be able to understand what's going on the other planes, right? So, but religion is good for self-development and for your relationship with your Most High God. So then that book had helped me understand a little bit more of what the other book was trying to tell me, but I still I don't have no structure is what I'm telling you. I'm kind of like out here on my own as a rogue agent. So one day I go to my town, Mount Vernon, New York, and there's a bank on First Street. But really, I have to go to the city hall, which is across the street from the bank. But the bank has two entrances. If you park in the parking lot now, you can walk straight through the bank and go to the other side. So I said, okay, but you have to do some type of transaction in the bank, which I had to do anyway. Otherwise, they will tow your car, right? So I go through the back, pause. I park in the parking lot, go to the back entrance, do my transaction, and as I'm walking out the front, I see one of the brothers, the elders from my town. He's waiting there in the front. There's also a bus stop right there. So I say, hey, brother, and I say his name. He's like, hey, how you doing? This, that, and the third. We start talking. I say, you know what? I want to ask you something. I've been learning like this stuff right? And I say something about the origin, right? I'm not going to tell you what I said, but when I say that, he says to me, "Oh, you talk, the birth of the major religions," and I was like, I just, I just back because that was my next question. That was my next question. But what I had asked him was nowhere near, like you would not have connected those two things together, right? So I was like, dang, why'd you say that? Because that was my next question in my head. I said, yo, that's what I did say. Yo, that's what I was just about to ask you. He said, oh, I see now. He starts laughing. I said, what happened? He said, you was the one I was supposed to be waiting for. I said, what? I said, I thought you was waiting for the bus. He said, nah. Spirit told me to wait here. So I just was waiting. I was like, what? He's like, you was the one. So I said, yo, man, I got so many questions, man. And I start rattling off some of these words that I've been learning. I said, yo, I've been learning these words, man. And I start rattling them off. He said, shoot. He said, no. He said, do not say these words because, for one, you're not saying them correctly. And if you do not say these words correctly, they will have a negative effect. Now, the funny thing is, I did not take him serious. Kind of like when I didn't take McMean serious when he was trying to tell me about YouTube, and I did the opposite. Kind of like that, right? This is why I don't want you to go get the book. Like, I don't want you to just go get the book and, oh, Saladin read it. Bro, you have no idea what will happen if you didn't have the proper teaching, right? Kind of like when I told you I went to the trucking school and then they was like, who you going to work for? And I was like, I'm going to work for myself. And I didn't go with a trainer and I got all type of tickets out there on the road. Yeah, that, but worse. That, but worse. If you go and get into something like this and you don't know what you're doing, you're gonna hurt yourself. I'm just warning you. So I showed you the book, but I also told you this ain't really what you want without proper guidance. Now I'm only gonna warn you once. You do what you do. You're a grown person. If your life flip upside down now, don't be trying to DM me asking me how to get your shit back right. Told your ass don't be messing around. Because one thing is for sure, two things is for certain. You're going to fuck around and you're going to find out. All right? Good. So he's like, I got to send you to a woman and she's going to teach you how to say these words because you're not pronouncing them right. And if you don't pronounce them right, they can have drastic measures on your life. We finish our conversation and I go on about my way. Now, he gave me some advice and from there I took it, and then there I found the mystery school after he gave me the advice. So I do believe that he was waiting for me, and that meeting had to take place. It's just amazing how the universe will speak. The universe speaks in different ways. It doesn't only speak in numerology, even though some of you guys are seeing the same number over and over. That's not the only thing. It will speak in numbers. It will speak in patterns. You understand? And then intuition. You have to use your intuition, trust it. Because when you stop trusting your intuition, what happens is it becomes weaker and weaker, right? And some people, they trust their intuition so much and so strongly that the signal is strong, right? So it may seem like, yo, that person is really psychic. It's not that you don't have the same ability. It's just that you're not exercising it like everyone else. Just like your muscles, you know what I'm saying? You just got to work things out work it out consistently, and you will see the difference. You're going to see it get stronger. I've always said we're binary, right? And not binary in the sense that the left woke is talking about binary, but we are a duality, not so much binary, but we're a duality. We are physical, but then there's metaphysical aspects of us that haven't been addressed on the mainstream level. So therefore, that information is regarded as esoteric knowledge, and it is driven underground, and you would have to, you got the outer layer, which is your church, but then there's a whole, I guarantee if you go to church, you don't know nothing about what they going to teach you in the mystery school, right? But the funny thing about the mystery school is they taught me a lot. And by the way, I'm not done with the mystery school. I'm not at the top level of the, but it was still a lot to wake up to, because it wasn't only like I learned science too. You learned about the body too. You're not just in there learning seances and just word magic and stuff like that. Like, I learned a lot about. And before you ask me what mystery school, I'm not going to tell you, because if I told you what mystery school, it wouldn't be a mystery now, would it? But I got so many. See, I mean, a lot of. I got a bunch of binders, right? They taught me about so much. So the first thing when I open this up, I see vibration, right? Which is amazing. Extrasensory. The understanding that we have our material environment, objective consciousness. These are the things that they're going to teach you first, right? They taught me about the interpretation of vibrations. I was kind of shocked that they was teaching these things, right? They taught me all the way down to the atoms, right, in the molecules of my body, and then they come up. They teach you about your organs, all of these things. So the reason they do that is so that you would understand healing as well, right? Because everything has to be logical, and that's just logic, right? When they taught me about Yeshua and his people, and again, for you Israelites, I don't need for you to correct me. You know who I'm talking about. I know who I'm talking about. Some people may call him Jesus, right? I just meet everybody where they at. When they taught me about Yeshua, that blew my mind, because there was things that I learned in the mystery school that I never learned at church, and I was in church like my whole daggone life. And never once did they tell me that this Jesus was something you call an Essene. Essene. I never even heard of that word before. Right? I said an Essene. What is an Essene? So there I had to go do the knowledge of the Essenes, figure out who they were. They taught me how the Essenes became to practice Judaism. It's a whole story about it. But here's what I'll say about the Essenes. They were master healers, right? So there was a lot of questions that was answered, because my thing was like, why did Son disappear at the age 12, right? Like, what's going on there? And then I learned that he was in the mystery school. This is why he dipped off like that, right? So, oh, snap. So I'm really excited in my studies and everything. I really got into it. But I do believe that was my it was my calling, if you will, anyway. So it's just about timing and everything. And I guess, the maturity of your life and when you're ready. So as I'm getting this knowledge, I'm not only getting physical knowledge, not only getting hidden knowledge that was never told to me, but I'm also getting metaphysical knowledge. That was beautiful. I'm getting a lot of different knowledge. Hold on. Now, me getting this knowledge, and I'll read you guys' comments in a second. I don't want to get thrown off, so I'm not reading them right now because it'll take me down somewhere else that I'm not supposed to go. Supposed to just give you this, and then you just heard my doctor call. He's like, "Yeah, where you at?" So I gotta skedaddle at some point. Now, when I start getting the knowledge from the outer world, the science world, and knowledge about what the defense, the Department of Defense can do with frequency, I was more receptive to the idea, right? There was little cognitive dissonance. There was more shock and surprise that we had weapons or tools. I'm going to call them tools for right now because I don't know if they're all weapons at the moment. But we had access to technology that can do some amazing stuff. But because I had already learned about frequency, and I didn't have to go to the mystery school to learn about that. I could have probably paid attention to in science, right? I could have learned that in 5th grade. The thing is, I wasn't paying attention. And the thing is, it wasn't of interest to me that I would remember it in my long-term memory. So, I mean, from 5th grade to 30, I don't know none of that stuff I learned. So, but the only thing it seems like I care about is chasing down this hidden information that I feel I'm not being told. So, because I had a passion for that, when they taught me science again, now I'm a studious person. Now I'm reading and understanding everything. So now it's fresh in my memory, and I'm like, okay, now I understand my body. Know thyself, right? I understand my body. I understand. They're going to teach you about. They taught me about the electromagnetic field. They taught me a lot in the school, more than you probably think they're going to teach you in there. They teach you history. They teach you about all these historians from all over the world. They teach you about different religions. There's a lot you learn. There's a lot you learn. There's a lot. And this is why when the person you call Jesus had left the mystery school and he came amongst us, this is why it was like, yo, is he God? Because he know how to walk on water. He know how to levitate. He know how to... So, the interpretation of I am the way, the truth, and the light is not so much that Jesus was saying he was God. He never said he was God, right? But they turned him into a God because who else is running around here doing this type of stuff, right? He knows how to do all that stuff. If you spend 21 years in the mystery school, chances are you're going to come out here and know how to do the exact same thing, right? But the Essenes were master healers anyway. Right, we have hospitals because of the hospices that the Essenes used to set up at different posts because they would travel. So they made it a thing to set up hospices at different locations on the routes to their journeys, right? On the routes to Asia, on the routes to these different places. Let me just reset the show. Good morning, everybody. My name is Jamel Saladin. This is the Poker Face Society. The people wanted to talk about aliens today, so that's what we're about to talk about. I'm just kind of going leading up to that because also I decided to throw in ELF technology, which is electromagnetic low frequencies, because this is a strong frequency when it comes to humanity, because it can actually allow access to you as a person. No BS. No BS. Right? But you have to know these things. So right now I'm just telling you a little bit about my background so you don't think I'm just some quack that walked off the street. I could still be a quack though. Don't get it twisted. I could still be a quack. But I have been studying this information for a long time. And I didn't just wake up yesterday and just watch a YouTube video and heard couple of people say some things and I'm repeating it to you. That's not what's happening. Um, for whatever reason, that this is my passion. This is so you may hear me say from time to time, I was sent to tell you. I'm wired like that. I'm wired to talk about this right here, right? They gave me a YouTube channel, and I talked about the same thing for 4 years, and I got no views. And they would say, "Yo, just quit. You suck." And I listened to none of them, right? And I will continue to listen to none of them because I know I don't suck. I'm not worried about that. I totally understand what's going on, but I have to get the information to the people I was supposed to give the information to because that was the assignment, and that is the assignment. So he who have ears, let him hear. And it's that simple, right? Now, as always, I will give you evidence of these things that I'm talking about. First thing I got up here, what do I got up here? It says, an existence of a still hidden CIA program to manipulate the human brain and organism with remote electromagnetic means. What website is this? It says papers.ssrn.com. I'm just going to read some of this for you, right? We're going to go into some other things. Once I get off of this, then we'll go into the aliens, which I told you, you can't get off of Genesis without talking about aliens. You can't get out the first book in the Bible without talking about aliens. That's just a fact, right? So that's easier for me to talk about than this. But I just said, let me get this out the way. Because they have technology that you guys have no idea about, but I'm going to introduce it to you today. Now, after this one, I'm going to bring up a government document, just in case you don't believe this one. There are letters disclosed under the Stargate declassification. I think Uncle Andy was talking about Stargate before. There are letters disclosed under the Stargate declassification, which indicated that the CIA had covert programs to manipulate the brain function interacted with the external electromagnetic stimuli, which is still hidden to the public eyes. The CIA has had an intention to read and activate the human being from the outside and paid attention to the related studies and development since MK Ultra Subproject 119 in the early 1960s. They naturally supported the earlier experiments on the remote electromagnetic sensing conducted by SRI, Stanford Research Institute. Did Donald Rumsfeld have anything to do with Stanford Research Institute? I don't know why his name pops up in my head. Him and Robert McNamara. We'll get to that later. Though halting their subsidies with several years, the problem was Stanford Research Institute focused on the remote viewing, which was not necessarily the primary goal for the agency that would like to deploy the electromagnetic technologies into their information gathering to interrogate or manipulate their subjects. So what they're saying is they had a project, Stargate, and it was supposed to be about remote viewing, right? But then there's some subcategories within this project that don't actually align with remote viewing. So when you talk about remote viewing, you're talking more about the ESP of things and using psychics to kind of see what's going on somewhere. The government actually invested in psychics, right? Because they started to get the information. They know the history of the planet, right? And they also know about extraterrestrial life. So, and we're going to go into how they know about extraterrestrial life. Don't worry about it. I got your back. I'm not going to skip a beat. I'm just taking my time so that so that my conversation is um, coherent. I don't want to be like all over the place, right? So I'm just give you a little history of what's going down, and I'll use some evidence so that you know exactly that I'm not just freestyling up here and all that other stuff. Um, so, and this is mainly like I guess they was trying to figure out what's going on in Russia, right? The Cold War was so immature. We did a lot of crazy stuff competing with the other countries, mainly Russia, right? Some of this stuff was just immature stuff, but it's no different from today because we're still wasting a lot of money. But they still spent millions on projects where they use psychics trying to read and see what's going on in Russia and all this other stuff. And that's different from the technologies using electromagnetic low frequencies to do a number of things, right? I'm just going to say broadly manipulate the human body. And then there's several hundreds of things that you can probably do under that category. One, they can put memories in your brain that were never there. Like that's just one thing, right? So there's a lot going on that I'm not going to break down during this video, but this is why I always tell you guys to subscribe to the show because I'm teaching you guys slowly over time. When you hear me mention your electromagnetic field, right? And then I'm telling you that every time your atoms lose an electron or gain one, right? There's an electrical charge, right? And that's always happening. So there's always electrical charge that's creating this aura about you. See, I do these things for a reason, right? So that you think you're learning one thing, but you're not. Every time I come here, I may give you something else and give you another piece and give you another piece every day. And then over time, you will have the information that I have because what they definitely told me not to do was just share this with you verbatim. But they did say I can give you the knowledge. They just said don't give it. I can't open up this book and just give you and show you the pages because you're not an initiate. But I asked, can I? You can give them the knowledge, or I could give it to them, but I just have to find out my own way of giving it to you. Now, if I gave it to you the way they gave it to me, you're gonna go to sleep. You're not even gonna check in. You're not even gonna tap in. So therefore, I had to sit down and say, how you gonna give it to them? All right, buckle up. It's gonna take some time. And here I am. So hit the subscribe button. I'm gonna go to, I don't know what that is. So I'm not gonna read that right now. But I don't know what this is. I want to show you something, right? This is from the Freedom of Information Act, right? And this is the CIA.gov, right? So you know I'm not on some BS site. But when the CIA gives you stuff, they don't give it to you. Let me show you how they. It's crazy, Lord. Right? This is the PDF. It's nuts. Right? Here's the PDF. 138 pages. What is it? Table of contents, paranormal processes, other paraphysic topics, research environment, personalities and facilities, prime paraphysics areas, paraphysics, biographical notes, methodical academic specialty of paraphysics. Right? So you guys could go through this. It's called Paraphysics R&D. I'm pretty sure the R&D stands for Research and Development. Warsaw Pact. 138 pages there. And I'm just going to go ahead and read you the summary of what's really going on there. So the document is pretty much detailing some Soviet research on paranormal phenomena, because they was kind of using this first. I'm not going to lie to you. They was using it before we was using it. But I think everybody was using technology before we use it, and then we get it, and then we don't know how to act, bro. Once we get stuff, we don't know how to act. We got stuff from the German Nazis. They wasn't even doing some of this stuff, but some of it they was doing, right? The mind warfare, the psychological warfare. They was using that, but we used the German Nazis to create that to invent the bomb, the atomic bomb, and then we used it, which is sad. And when we did use it, we got the attention of the extraterrestrials, the Galactic Federation, which we'll talk about. And then they had to let us know, like, yo, y'all gotta chill out. Like, they've been watching the whole time. You gotta chill out. All right, so that particular document right there, it says that the Soviet began researching paranormal phenomena in the early 1920s with renewed interest in the 1950s and 1960s. The research was conducted by a variety of scientists and institutions, including the Soviet Academy of Sciences. The focus was on practical applications such as military and intelligence uses. The document details experiments conducted by the researchers like I.M. Kogan and G.A. Sergeyevich. I don't know how to say that. It's a Russian name, which involved telepathic communication over long distances and the influence of mental states on physical objects. Right? Now, some claim this is why they really want the fluoride in your water, because some say it calcifies your pineal gland, which will dull down your, remember the duality I was talking about, your metaphysical side. You have the physical side, which we all see and we trust in that, but then we don't trust so much in the spiritual side. I mean, and if no one's going to give you the right education on it and tell you how to use it, then a lot of people are just going to lose faith in it. They're like, I don't believe in all that spiritual bullshit, right? So they get extra aggressive with it. They're like, yo, I don't know nothing about that, bro. They only believe in the physical, right? So, and that's the way they like it. They don't never want you to know who you are any other way and be able to tap into that and start to really utilize those powers, right? And you definitely don't have time to go to a mystery school for 21 years like Yahshua. So the document also discusses experiments involving dermal optics, a purported ability to perceive information through the skin. This is what they talked about. I just let that sit there, right? Because I told you before that Professor George Church, let me bring it up since I'm here. I'm already late for the doctor, so I might as well bring it here. All right. Professor George Church downloads Book to DNA. Harvard geneticist stores 70 billion copies of his book in DNA. So, you don't think I was like just BSing you right there? George Church is a professor of genetics at Harvard University for biologically inspired engineering. And also co-authored the book Regenesis: How Synthetic Biology Will Reinvent Nature and Ourselves in DNA. So, interesting times. Anyway, where was I at? I was over here. Thank you. So before I just jump off that subject, this is the first computer. And we're going to get into how this was built. But this is the first computer. The computer that you use is actually designed off of the human anatomy. This is why you have a motherboard. This is why you have a CPU, which is the brain. This is why you have memory. The computer that you use is not the original computer. You are the original computer, right? And actually, that's what they called the black women at NASA who did all the computations. They called them computers, right? Like they physically did the computations before the big mainframe came into existence. Even though we know that, we have no idea of the capabilities, what's going on with this body right here, right? So it is a shame to see people wear it out the way they see it with the alcohol and the smoking and the eating that we do, and it's just a lot because we don't really respect it in our body because we don't really know. We don't know the capabilities we really have. We don't know that your body is a sensor, transmitter and receiver, right? It is a transmitter and receiver. Now it's easier to believe that it is a receiver of frequency because I could just ask you what you're looking at right now. You're gonna say you. I say okay, then you're receiving this frequency because everything a is an energy that is vibrating at a different velocity and aptitude, and therefore, if you think about the combinations of speed and height of a frequency, then you can get a number of different things, right? So thus we see the world at we got different things, but it's all one energy, but it's just vibrating at a different energy. But that's for a whole nother video, maybe. Gotta go figure out where I was at. I'll go down a rabbit hole real fast. I know I was talking about frequencies and everything is frequency. Um, so therefore your skin, not your body, is also it is not just a receiver of information, but it is also a transmitter of information, right? And this is why when you walk in a room, you can feel somebody's vibes, and this is why we use these, these colloquialisms that we do. You know the vibes. You know the vibes. We're using these things, but we don't know why we're using them and how true they really are, right? So yeah, I do know the vibes because you know, sometimes somebody walk in, you be like, "Yo, did you feel that?" You know what I'm saying? Did she have attitude? You know damn well she had attitude because you perceive it. She didn't have to use the language, right? At one point in time, we did not use the language as much as we just used mental telepathy. This is why the earth was of one language, right? And one mind, right? Now, there's numerology. The Bible is coded. You have an outer meaning, you have an inner meaning. There's a lot going on. I don't try to break all of this down in one video, and I never will. Anyway, If you go to the first book, which is Genesis, if you go to the 11th chapter, we're still dealing with ones right now. So you dealt with the first book, you add two more ones, just go to the 11th chapter. Now, this here is some type of, I don't even want to use this Bible. For some reason, I like my King James Bible. I know about King James. Oh, you know King James was this, that. I know. I was raised on it. All right, so you got the first book, which is Genesis. Add two more ones. Genesis 11. Add the first verse. That's four ones. This is synchronicity right here we're talking about. Just read that verse, and it says, "In the whole earth was of one language and of one speech." You understand? So we all was able to speak the same thing. And some say this is because we spoke with our minds. You understand what I'm saying? Was I there? I wasn't there. But I do love this story right here for a number of reasons, because it talks about them trying to separate us, which they try to do right now. Like they tried to separate these people thousands of years ago when they tried to elevate and work together to get to the paradise, the utopia that they know they could get to, right? So they was trying to build the tower to get there together. And then the gods got scared and was like, yo, we can't stop them. It's all right there, right? It's all right here. And the Lord said, behold, the people is one, and they have all one language. And this they begin to do. Now listen to this. And it said, now nothing will be restrained from them. So the answer is right there. The answer is right there. If we came together, they can't stop us, right? So this is why they work so hard to keep us apart. And when racism starts to wear off and it's not as strong as it used to be, it's not strong as a weapon as it used to be, then they just create more different groups now, right? That they knows that it's not going to make sense to us. So they're like, you know, let's just create some more groups. We'll create some binary groups. We'll create some transgenders, you know what I'm saying? And now this further, now they can keep that frequency going, right? So, and who is they? We'll talk about who they are in a second, right? So let's go back to that for a second. I just wanted you to know some of the capabilities that this body has. It's not just like skin. It's deeper than that. It's way deeper than that. So this document on the CIA says there are references to potential applications of these abilities in areas such as espionage and remote sensing. Uh-huh. So you guys could check that out. Now, they've used a number of technologies and sciences, behavioral sciences. They've combined behavioral sciences with electromagnetic low frequency technology to, I mean, damn it, they've used it to win wars, right? They've gotten, now, when you read some of these stories, it's going to tell you it was purely propaganda, leaflets, right? They've used that too. The military has used leaflets and propaganda to get armies to soldiers to leave their armies, right? They did this in Vietnam, right? Where they got a bunch of leaflets and they dropped them from the sky, and it was in the Vietnamese, and it was telling them, if you defect, we're going to give you shelter. We're going to give you food for your family, you know what I'm saying? And you don't have to fight this war anymore, right? And then the soldiers would pick it up, and then they would defect, right? So about approximately 28,000 Vietnamese had surrendered due to this type of weaponry, psychological warfare, saving approximately maybe 6,000 lives of U.S. soldiers. So you know, psychological warfare has its place. I don't think you're supposed to be using it on your own people, but yet here we are. That doesn't matter. Now, when you go to research some of the things that I'm talking about, they they don't necessarily want you to know about some of this technology. So I told you the other day, the only thing worse than a lie is the lie mixed with the truth, right? So if they'll put out different stories out there and make it seem like it's one story and make it seem like, oh no, we don't have that technology. What they're talking about when they say that we were able to get a whole battalion to um, surrender, they're talking about just psychological warfare with leaflets, and we're using speakers, and we're really just speaking to them, and then we slowly break down their morale, and then they eventually they surrender, and that's what they're talking about. But we don't have any technology that can infiltrate their minds. Lies. These are lies. I just want you to know that. These are lies. They do have the technology. They have the technology, right? And they've used it. And they've used it in the Middle East where they were able to get, then this wasn't the leaflets. They were able to use the electromagnetic low frequency technology, right? Because they can put it into the music as well. That's what they're not telling you. They can put it into the music. They've been experimenting with these things. So when I say that this hip hop music is the devil, I'm not just saying that because I'm getting old and all of a sudden I'm not hipped in and tapped into what the young kids is doing. No, I'm tapped in. I'm tapped in past what you tapped into. And it don't matter what I know. What I know is patterns. What I know is you killing yourself. What I know is you can't wait to go to jail. And you've been doing this for 20 years in a row. So I don't know why you're saying I'm not tapped in. Tell that to the jails. Tell that to the graveyard. Right? There's a reason why you can't think of nothing else of genocide in your neighborhood. It's amazing when I'm in Brooklyn all the time. And Brooklyn is one of those boroughs where everything is being gentrified right now. But I look and there's so many, it's just an anomaly, right? There's so many professional white people in these neighborhoods. And then there's like the hood, like right around the corner. And white people are running through the streets jogging. They don't got a care in the world, right? Because they know you train not to fuck with them. Not that I want you out here fucking with white people. That's not what I'm saying. You train to kill yourself. And I just think that is amazing. That is amazing. That you know not to fuck with them. It's the same dangerous neighborhood, but it's dangerous more for you. They'll run through that motherfucker like they don't got a care in the world. Because they don't. Not worried about you, right? Give a shit if you say it's a bad neighborhood for you. Because you want to kill yourselves. They just came out to do what they want to. I'm out here jogging. You understand that I'm going to get up and bring my ass to work. That's amazing. So they've been experimenting with putting messages in behind speeches, behind words, behind music for a minute, right? So what did we go over so far? Because I'm going to move on to aliens. But I did want to introduce you guys to electromagnetic low frequency, ELF, right? so that you can go look it up for yourself. Never mind what I say. I could be up here fucking lying to you. I could be up here talking bullshit to you. You understand? Take what I say, write it down, go look it up for yourself, see if the government has any weapons that they've used with this. The USSR had a weapon that would microwave the fucking body from the inside out. Just using a ray. Just using a ray. Right? You don't see, it's not like a laser. That's not what I'm saying. It's a technology that specifically sends out a frequency, uses frequency to manipulate your body, heat that bitch up, and microwaves your body. This technology is out there. I don't know who this is. Give me a second. Hello? Dr. G. I can't. I know. I'm sorry, Dr. G. I get caught up. I'm in a live right now. I'm sorry, man. All right, so this will can we I know you're no good after your lunch because they're gonna yell at me, right? Or like during from what 12 to 2. Can I do it after that? All right, 2 o'clock. Thanks. All right, that's the doctor. Now they're calling me. Let's read the comments before we go to aliens. Tiger, what's good, bro? Uncle Andy directed energy weapon. Yes. Spitfire is in the house. I had to see if you was. Sometimes when I read the comments from the bottom, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like I got to make sure the person is here. is here in good spirit. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Spitfire Shine. I've never seen you before, but thanks for coming over. Thank you for coming over. Please do subscribe to the channel Spitfire. Good to have you here. Uh-huh. Yeah, I knew Frankie would love this. Frankie's supposed to be at work. He's in here bullshitting around over here in the Poker Face Society. You're supposed to be at work, bro. I'm supposed to be at the doctor. Frankie's supposed to be at work. He's over here bullshitting around, talking about aliens. And this is how it starts. This is how this is how it starts, bro. Missing appointments, right? You're fucking up on the client's work. Yeah, this is how it starts, man. Uncle Andy says, just to interject, there's also subliminal messaging such as backward vocals in the music. Yes. Stairway to Heaven, Led Zeppelin. This is when we first learned about this, right? We would play the records backwards, right? Bro, I don't have enough time. So I'm choosing the words because I want to get to the aliens and stuff like that. But Candace Owens has been telling me to read, well, just not me. She tells us all to read this book, Chaos. I started the book, it was trash, right? And let me let you know right now, Chaos don't really get good into the 7th chapter. And he takes his time. I understand why he takes his time now. He does the same thing I do, right? He wants you to have all the information so when it gets to a crescendo, you didn't skip a beat. You understand everything. So that's what's going on in the book Chaos that is talking about who's this? Who's the guy? Charlie Manson? That was his name? But it explains so much that the government was dealing with, the technology they were dealing with, the MK Ultra weapons they were dealing with, the mind control. They were doing a lot, bro. It's like, damn, that book, it ramped up on me. First, it was really boring for like 3 hours. Then that shit just took off like, holy, what'd you just say? The government was doing all of that, right? And I pretty much know, but I think it blows my mind when I read it. And we've been insinuating for so long, and it's been barbershop talk for so long that when you read declassified documents and you actually read what they have, and you're like, this is crazy. This is crazy, right? So I feel insulted that they want me to talk about Diddy and Baby Oil and this, that, and the third, right? Especially when this has been going on for years, and especially when they have so many agents. This is not conspiracy. The government has so many agents. This is all declassified. In Hollywood and the music industry, I'm talking about a lot of these people are like retired from the military, from the Department of Defense. So a lot of them are just recruited agents from other countries. Recruiting agents from other countries. They come here and they recruit them, and they place them. They train them to be assassins. They train them, and then they push them. They fund them, give them money. Like these were nobodies yesterday, and they'll make them into somebody today, and they'll put them in the music industry, and they'll put them in the movie industries, and they'll put them in the media. So when George Floyd first, when that happened to George Floyd, and I seen Derek Chauvin with his knee on his neck. Now Candace Owens says his knee's not really on his neck and all of this other stuff, and that's not what killed him. The fentanyl killed him. I do believe fentanyl was in George Floyd's system. I doubt that was a legal hold that Derek Chauvin had him down on the floor in, right? So never mind what the coroner is saying so much, where it's kind of hard for me to believe that it was just the fentanyl alone. I do think it contributed to it, but I also, who's to say that your knee hole didn't contribute to it either, right? They're like, yo, the knee hole wasn't that strong, and you don't know that. But the first thing I said is, yo, son worked for the CIA. Son worked for one of these departments, and he did this because he was told to do this. I'm not saying it was an MK Ultra program. I'm saying sometimes you get the call. Batter up. Today's the day. And then all of a sudden, this is what we're going to focus on for the next 9 months. And it's not that I'm desensitized to their advertising and their Eric Benet's mind manipulation tricks. It's just that it's like so many times I'm going to fall for it, right? So I already know that you're going to give me some type of fake out, right? You're going to fake left and then hit me with the right. So you use this move so many times that every time it happened, I'm just looking. Soon as that happened, I'm looking at what recent bills was passed. What am I missing right now? What bills was a bill just passed that I didn't look into yet? Let me go see what's going on. I pull up the BBC News. I start reading all type of international news at that point because there's things that we're not seeing at that point that they want me to focus over here, and I'm not focusing over here. Shout out to Trisha in the house. Yes, Trisha has been telling me about Allie Carter. Allie Carter. I did check out Allie Carter. Allie Carter has been telling you about the tunnels. We're going to talk about tunnels today, coincidentally. Elon Musk told you about tunnels, but I'm going to go even further into tunnels in a second. I know you guys want to talk about the Diddy. Eh, he's not that important to me, right? Diddy learned who's the dude? What's his name? Charlie. I want to say his name. Is it Charlie Manson? That doesn't sound right. Charlie Manson. That is his name. Shit, Charles Manson. That's his name. My bad. Charles Manson was doing the same thing Diddy was doing in the 60s, bro. Diddy's not the first Diddy. So when you don't see me really responding to shit like that, it's because they use the same playbook, bro. Like they're gonna just take the playbook they use from two. It takes 20 to 25 years to consider the generation. They'll take a playbook from 2 generations ago and run it on you now because those that should remember this should be dead or old right now. So now they're gonna use it on you because you don't know nothing about this. So 9/11 is an old fucking playbook. 9/11 is not new, right? We're gonna do some shit to trigger for a war, for us to go to war. Well, they done proposed that shit with Operation Northwoods. I think in the 50s or 60s. So it's not that I'm unaware of but again, you have to understand what they're trying to do, right? So now you expect me to tap into Diddy shit. I know what he did. He did the same thing Marilyn Manson did. He did the same thing the rest of them did. Because he was taught that. The bigger question is, who the fuck is teaching them this? That's a bigger question. How long they been teaching this? What they into? Who are they? Who's they? These are the questions. I don't need a play-on-play by Diddy in the tunnels. They tell on themselves. Watch. Let me show you how they tell on themselves. Show you something. Come on. Let me show you how they telling themselves. This is CBS. This is crazy.
May welcome tech titan Elon Musk's latest big disruptive idea. How about this? Underground tunnels to beat traffic congestion. Last night in Los Angeles, he unveiled the first tunnel in what he hopes will become a network of underground highways, he says. Now, this initial stretch is only for test and won't be used by the public. It runs between the headquarters of Musk's SpaceX company and a parking lot behind a closed business a little more than a mile away. When Musk took me for a ride the other day, it was an eye-opening 4-minute journey.
You can go ahead, I think.
How fast is this?
This is still slow.
This is
We're
slow?
only doing 20 miles an hour.
God, oh my
We'll
God,
speed
oh
up
my God.
after we get around the corner.
This isn't just any tunnel.
We can get 100, no problem, but we'll take it easy for you.
It's Elon Musk tunnel. And to understand why we're speeding through it, you need to go back a couple of years when he decided he had had enough of Los Angeles traffic gridlock.
What are you talking about, bro? Right? What the fuck are you talking about? You thought you was just going to do a piece on this fool having a tunnel and I wasn't going to pick up? See, you can talk to them like that. You just can't talk to me like that. Right? Who gave you permission to run a fucking tunnel underground, blood, underneath the whole LA? And am I to think that you the only one out here using the tunnels? So that's what I said. They already got, they tell on themselves. You understand? So a lot of times when you guys see me and I'm not talking about certain things, it's not that I don't know. I'm gathering, that's simple shit to me, right? I'm gathering the information to give to you guys so that you understand comprehensively across the board. I heard what they told me. I didn't need nobody else to tell me. This motherfucker running around in tunnels, right? So when Ali Carter said, yo, there's tunnels, I know, baby. I know. She's not lying. When Jaguar Wright says there's a tunnel that runs from Diddy's house to Hugh Hefner's house, I know. I know. Motherfucker said he built a tunnel because he was tired of traffic. Who? Yo, there's people out here right now that cannot get the permit to fix their goddamn garage a certain way. You understand what I'm saying to you? You go ahead and try to put a bedroom over your garage and see how fast, one, your neighbors rat you out and they're nosy asses, right? And two, see how fast the city hall don't be at your house. Well, we got a complaint that you're building a bedroom on top of your garage. And he had the permits to build a whole fucking tunnel. Right, Tiger? My town is on me right now. I got a phone call the other day. Yeah, you didn't renew your fishing license, so we just wanted to make sure. Yo, blood, I'll be down there and renew what I need to renew. I don't need phone calls. Oh, just a reminder, this is coming up. Never mind that, blood. How he get all the permits to build? What? He got a whole car underground, bro. So where's the entry point? Where's the exit point? Why? There was no construction going on. You understand what I'm saying? When did this construction take place? Well, that's for another video. This is why I keep telling you they keep wiping the history. You understand? Keep wiping the history. Got to take in consideration what is a generation every 25 years, right? 4 generations, they could just completely wipe that shit. So this is why when I say wipe, they could just change the map on you. What the new people gonna know? They ain't gonna know. They're gonna know what you indoctrinated in them. So it doesn't. I don't feel away anymore. But some people are so zealous, right? You don't really hear me speak on religion unless sometimes I like to shut people down, right? Because they get up here and they're going to tell me how about their religion and their one and only true God, right? I usually just let people rock out. But if I see you trying to bully other people and you getting crazy, yo, check this out. Your one true God is your one true God. Don't be trying to belittle someone else and tell them that they wrong. Because now I have to fucking correct you. I could have been checked you at the door with your information, but I'm not going to do that. But now you out here trying to tell other people that they don't have the right God. Bro, if I was you, I would worry about your own God before I have to enlighten you about your religion. Just use your religion for self-development so you stay balanced. And that's a personal relationship between you and your God. Right? You don't have to get out here and recruit and do all of this fucking crazy shit, right? Let people live with their God. Me, I have no religion. Now, they show something interesting in this video.
Try something new before we start. in traffic hell for the rest of our lives. I started thinking, well, maybe this could be underground.
This is the underground network he envisions. Electric cars using street-level elevators to drop down into a series of tunnels. Autonomous technology in the cars ensure that they don't run into each other.
Now, watch this. When they finally announce it to you, you're going to be like, yo, when did they build it? Then you're going to realize the tunnels was already here. Right? They're going to announce. Elon Musk going to act like he been working on that shit. Well, we've been working on this for the last... But the tunnels are here, regardless. The tunnels are here. When the fuck did you build these tunnels, blood? That's irrelevant. But the tunnels are here. Tunnels been here, bro. Tunnels been here. All right? Now, are we done with electro low frequency? Because now it's 1:36 and it is time, I guess, to talk about aliens, I guess. Freaking aliens, bro. All right. Bronx Endo says the Mexicans been building these joints. Yeah. The real life Hot Wheels and all that. All right. I'm so exhausted. Where to start? Tunnels. That's a great place to start because that's when you want to just... Our greatest tunnel builders are the reptilians. Yeah, sometimes you just jump right in the water, and the water gets warmer as you jump in. But at first, it's cold. You're like, whoo. Yeah. Our greatest tunnel builders are the reptilians. That's what they're good at. That's what they've been good at. You like, who? The reptilians? Oh, God, you talk about that? It's not me that's talking about that. The Department of Defense already said, they already announced about extraterrestrial life, right? Why do you think we have a whole new branch of military called Space Force? I'm on that bitch all the time. I already had an interview. They already called me back. Yeah, they called your boy back. I was so thirsty to get into the goddamn Space Force. It was like, yo, if I offer you this job, you have too much qualifications. I'm like, yo, it's okay. I'll take the job. It was like, yo, let's just try to find you a better suit. Like, I just feel you're going to be bored. Right? So one of the military already called me back for Space Force. United States Space Force is a branch of the United States military that protects the country's interests in space. Why would they be concerned about space, Jamel? Oh, ye of little faith.
Aliens exist and President Trump knows about it. That's according to Israel's former space security chief. In an interview with an Israeli newspaper, he said the aliens have been waiting until today for humanity to develop and reach a stage where we will understand in general what space and spaceships are. NBC News chief global correspondent Bill Neely explains this one.
Hi, Alison. Well, this is quite a story, and it comes from the man who headed Israel's space security program for nearly 30 years. Chaim Eshed is making the extraordinary claim that the United States and Israel have been in contact with a group of aliens for years, not immigrants, but extraterrestrials. He has called them the Galactic Federation of Aliens. And
it's not that he called them the Galactic Federation of Aliens. That is what they are, the Galactic Federation. Chris, you gotta have stronger focus, bro. You can't ask me my thoughts on JFK assassination in the middle of me teaching about aliens, blood. The chauffeur shot the second shot, all right? The driver shot the second shot and blew up JFK's head. Just look at the driver. He turns around with the pistol in his left hand, shoots his head off. His wife tries to run out the back of the truck because she sees everything. Case fucking close. All right. First shot was long distance. Second shot, the reason that you see his head, the whole melon come off like that, is because the fucking bullet came from inside the car. Now, can we go back to aliens? Stay focused, blood. You know what I'm saying, Frankie? They asked me, yo, we want to talk about aliens. I talk about aliens. They were like, yo, what do you think? It's why y'all horrible students, bro. yeah, Mr. Saladin. Yes. I know how to count to 5. Thank you. If we could just stay focused. This is very important, what he just said. Now, how much of that went over your head? This is the Israelis' former space secretary claiming that a space union, a union of extraterrestrials, have been in contact with the people of Earth, and they call themselves, well, he has regarded them as the Galactic Federation, but in all actuality, that is who they are. They are the Galactic Federation of Light. Oh, Ryan Street, don't worry about it. I ain't going nowhere. I ain't going. We here. I'm going to play it again. What time is it? It's just enough time for me to play this, explain everything, and leave. I just wanted you to know that it's not me telling you about the Galactic Federation of Light. Because if I told you about the Galactic Federation of Light, like, who the fuck is you? Nobody, bro. I don't know nothing. But if the guy in the white suit tells you, you might take it, right? Because you do believe that the shadows are the gods, right? So Plato told me a long time ago, do not tell them that the shadows are not the gods. They will try to kill you. And now I understand. If you want to think the shadows are the gods on the wall, go ahead. I'm cool with that. If you like it, I love it. If you like it, I love it. Now, listen to what this guy is saying again. I'm going to play it. And I told you last week to look this up. So you should have had already looked this up. Y'all think I give you homework and then I'm not going to follow up with the homework. That's what it is. No. There be a method to my madness.
Aliens exist and President Trump knows about it. That's according to Israel's former space security chief. In an interview with an Israeli newspaper, he said the aliens have been waiting until today for humanity to develop and reach a stage where we will understand in general what space and spaceships are. NBC News chief global correspondent Bill Neely explains this one.
Hi, Alison. Well, this is quite a story, and it comes from the man who headed Israel's space security program for nearly 30 years, Chaim Eshed.
Chaim Eshed, all right? Chaim Eshed. Just want you guys to have the names. You're supposed to have a pen. You're supposed to write this shit down.
Is making the extraordinary claim that the United States and Israel have been in contact with a group of aliens for years, not immigrants.
Don't be disrespectful, bro. Not immigrants. No, not immigrants.
But extraterrestrials.
Yes, extraterrestrials.
He has called them the Galactic Federation of
They are the Galactic Federation. It's not so much what he called them. They are the Galactic Federation.
aliens, and he says President Trump is aware of the existence of these aliens and had been on the verge of revealing their secrets, he claims, but was asked not to do so by the Federation in order to prevent what he calls mass hysteria. Well, the retired general says the US and Israel have kept it from the public because, quotes, humanity isn't ready and the aliens don't want to reveal themselves until humanity can evolve, he says, and understand what space really is. Well, the good news is that he claims an agreement has been reached between the US government and the aliens, a contract to do experiments here. There's also, he says, a secret.
The Galactic Federation of Light are good at doing contracts. Wouldn't be their first contract that has to do with Earth at all. We'll get into that in a second. I just want to hear the rest of this.
Ground base on Mars, where there are American and alien representatives. Now, this former head of a branch of Israel's defense ministry is 87. He was very well respected, at least until now. And he set up.
Yo, it's amazing how when people don't know something, right? So, because a few people know, this is why I said, don't try to convince them that the shadows is not the gods, bro. You trying to tell them the caves this is not our reality. Those are just shadows. But they've been in the cave for so long, they're like, are you crazy? You disrespect the gods of... These is not the gods, bro. These is just shadows. We'll be right back. And they're going to come back and kill you, bro. Right? So I could get up here all day long and I could talk about Trump and J.D. Vance and the numbers going to go stupid. As soon as I start to teach you some shit, them fucking numbers go down, Jack, for a couple of reasons. One, people not interested in that shit. Whoever is interested is in here right now listening to me. And that ain't, like, when I be talking about that dumb shit, they over here. Their brains is wired that way. Right? That's one. Two, the algorithm will say, what the, ain't nobody tell you to teach that. Right? So if you want your numbers to go up, you talk about this over here. But as I explained to you guys before, I was given a mission, and that's not my mission to come over to YouTube and get hundreds of thousands of followers and become a YouTuber. It was never my mission. It was just, this is just a vessel, a channel for me to deliver what I need to deliver. So that being said, the reptilians had this place first. The reptilians was on this planet before anybody. That's why I left my show yesterday and said, we the aliens. They not the aliens. The reptilians are from the Draco constellation. Their existence has been longer than probably any other existence amongst all of the humanoids in the galaxies. Definitely longer than the Homo sapiens sapien. But we're not the only one down there or amongst us, right? So there's other deities. But it doesn't matter still when it comes to how old the reptilian is, still older than any of the other entities that you've probably heard about, the Atlanteans, the Martians, older. And because they're so older, they are more educated with the knowledge and stuff like that, right? Now, the reptilians we're dealing with now have been separated from their origins within the Draco because they was running around doing bullshit. What they was doing was running around and bullying other planets within these different constellations. And they're great. How do you say that word? Burrowers? They dig tunnels, and they're really good at that, at hollowing some shit out and then like using that as a vessel. They're excellent at that. So when you watch Star Wars and you see that their ship is shaped like a globe, they got that idea because they obviously know some shit, right? But it doesn't surprise me because they put a lot of truth into these shows and shit like that. So these people know. They know way more than you know, right? Just think about the name of fucking Superman, Kal-El, right? Why did he name him Kal-El? Because he knew more than you. He knew that the gods were named El, right? He knew that. He knows some shit, but never mind that. We're not talking about Superman. We're talking about the reptilians. Because Superman, in my opinion, is fabricated and made up. But I just brought him up because when they put these things in movies, they're gonna use some of the real knowledge and then they're gonna like make it, some of it nonfiction, some of it fiction. Anyway, you had some citizens of the Draco that were from the Draco constellation, these reptilians, that were running around more or less, I'm going to say bullying, but it was bigger than bullying because it was like, we'll annihilate your whole planet. We're going to take what we want. We're going to take everything off from the planet, and then we'll just annihilate the whole planet, blow it up, whatever. And as this started to happen, the other planets started to unite together to prevent this from happening, this destruction from the reptilians. And this union that they united together is pretty much made up of 110 colonies from different star systems throughout the galaxies called the Galactic Federation, right? So it took time though to build, because these reptilians was picking planets off one by one, like bang, bang. And one of the species that was affected was the Atlanteans. So you got roughly, the Galactic Federation is made up roughly of 110 different colonies throughout the constellations in the galaxies, right? And they band together, and this was like, okay, this slowed down the reptilians from really like just doing bullshit to you can't do it now because you're kind of outnumbered. But that doesn't mean that some of these you have some of these species that was already affected. They had blew up like 2 planets before that. The Atlanteans did not join the Galactic Federation, so they pretty much pissed off. Now, when the reptilians found this planet here, Earth, they got here by traveling in something that looked just like that planet, that spaceship at the beginning of Star Wars. Except it was Venus. It was the planet Venus. So, as they're traveling here, their travels actually knocked another planet called Maldek off balance, right? And out of orbit. Maldek went out of orbit, smashed into Mars, broke up, I do believe Maldek was where we was at now. So our planet ended up being the third planet. Now, many of the Maldekians went to Mars and they went underground. The reptilians they settled here on this here planet somewhere maybe 1,000,000 years ago. But they put a lot of work into like this planet, right? It was like the dinosaurs, they had actually created the moon, right? So the moon is like a hollow object. The moon does not rotate. It's just a satellite. It's just a satellite. They were using the moon to put things on, and then they would travel back and forth from the moon, right, to for the fauna and all of that, to bring all the food and all the stuff they was going to bring to get comfortable down here on Earth. But it was pretty much a stored satellite space for them. So they had their dinosaurs down here. Their dinosaurs was for them to eat. They pretty much was down here doing their own thing. Now, I told you before that some of the entities was misplaced because their planets was destroyed. The Atlanteans. They went to other visiting constellations. The Atlanteans, they went to the Pleiades, which is in the Lyra constellation. So you may hear them called Lyrians, or you may hear call them Atlanteans. But because they did not want to be a part of the Galactic Federation, the Pleiadians didn't want them over there either, because it's kind of like the Atlanteans was really arrogant. So it's kind of like they doing their own thing over there. So the Galactic Federation had an idea and said, all right, why don't we send you to Earth, right? Because they didn't fear the reptilians. If anything, they still got smoke with the reptilians. So they damn sure didn't fear them. So they said, why don't y'all just go down there to Earth? Atlanteans was with it. They with the shits. Now, the reptilians was down here all that time by themselves, and they were pretty much centralized on a continent that's called Lemuria. They was pretty much centralized right there. Also, the Maldekians, who now lived underground with the Martians, because their planet was destroyed with the arrival of the reptilians, they not really getting along underground with the Martians either. Once again, the Galactic Federation come in. Why don't you guys go down to Earth too? So you got the Atlanteans on a continent that is pretty much what we know as Atlantis. Then you got the Maldekians, which is pretty much over where Mongolia is in East Asia. And then you got the reptilians where the Pacific Ocean is at, right? Now, how y'all think things turned out, right? You got a bunch of Maldekians is tight because you fucking came down here and you just destroyed our planet. They are upset. Atlanteans got smoked from the history. They know the history. They not bowing down. They with the shits. They're very smart people. They have high technology. I would say the same for the reptilians because they are older and they do have high technology. Their biggest limitation is they are cut off from the Draco system. The Draco civilization is not rocking like they like, yo, y'all did that. Y'all did that. Y'all out here rogue. We're not using our resources for whatever you got going on, wherever you got it going on. That's you. Handle it. Right? So pretty much these is a rogue version of these is rogue reptilians out here doing their own thing. But they was doing good down here on Earth by themselves. Until Galactic Federation of Light said you got to share the planet now. Anyway, Atlanteans they're not really feeling these dinosaurs. That is the reptilians' food. They're not feeling the dinosaurs. They keep on killing the dinosaurs. So they are believed to be the true extinction of the dinosaurs. And war breaks out. Now, all this technology that we have now, because we have particle accelerators now that we're using with the that's with the Hadron accelerator that they're using at CERN and all of that. All of this is it's not new. It's new technology for us. This is old technology for these beings, right? That existed. We just putting the technology back together, and the Galactic Federation of Light has good reason to think that we are too immature to even know or utilize this type of technology. I mean, look what we did with the fucking atomic bomb. Couldn't wait to use it. We just use it willy-nilly. So I'm on board. No, we're not ready for a fucking particle accelerator. Like, we're not. We're just too immature as a people, bro. But never mind all of that. We got particle accelerator. We have antimatter machines, right? But they already had these things. These things are not new. They had these things. So the Atlanteans actually used they actually used it on the reptilians, right, to sink Lemuria, right? But the reptilians, they were good at like I said, they was already good at burrowing and shit and digging tunnels and all of that. So that's what they did. They just went underground. And this is where the myth starts of, respectfully, I'm just talking, right? I'm not trying to disrespect anyone's religion or anything like this. So when I say the myth, I'm not coming for your neck. I'm not trying to convert you or any of those things. Just bear with me. This is where the idea of hell comes from, because these reptilians were driven underground, right? But they were pretty good at their underground shit. They have a 7-layer city underground called Braga Vita. So they have cities underground. They have tunnels where they travel at high speeds, just like you see. None of this is new. None of this is new. None of it is new because there's people amongst us that are not Homo sapiens sapien like you and I. And there's people that are going to entrust certain people with the knowledge. To this day, there's a people called the Nagas people, right? And it don't matter what civilization you go to. It don't matter what continent you go to. You could talk to somebody about the people that live under the earth, and I guarantee you there's going to be someone to tell. You can go to Africa and talking to the Dogon tribe, and they're going to tell you, yeah, there's people that live under the earth. You could go to India, and you bring up the Nagas people, and they're going to tell you, yeah, the Nagas people are the snake people that live underneath the earth. They're talking about the reptilians. You could go to Mesoamerica, and the Mexicans and the people of Central America. They're going to have some experts there that's going to tell you about the history of the snake people and the people that live under the... You could come to North America, and there's going to be Native American tribes that's telling you about the snake people. The snake people, the snake people, the snake people. Even the Bible starts off with a snake talking to the people. When you open up your dollar bill and you're looking at it, you're like, yo, why does the skin look like that? If I told you, you wouldn't believe me, so I'm not going to tell you. But it's not for no reason. Right? It's just amazing, right? How the double helix snake is the symbol of medicine. Do you think that's a coincidence too? The Caducees, you think that's a coincidence that they would just use a snake? Why didn't they have that and at the end have an eagle's head or a lion's head, right? They got a snake. So, they're warring with each other. They sink Lemuria. The reptilians go underground. They build their cities underground, the Braga Vita. The Maldekians are going back and forth. They can't figure where they want to be at. They go back to Mars. They go to the moon. They're trying to figure it out. Reptilians also know how to shapeshift. So, with the reptilians know how to shapeshift and build tunnels and dig all through. They can travel underground. They want revenge now. And they infiltrate Atlantis, right? Now, Atlantis is a highly sophisticated, smart city. And pretty much everything was probably considered, except the fact that these people was going to come from underneath the ground. The problem is, by the time that the Atlanteans, because they are a smart entity, but by the time they realize, yo, we've been infiltrated, right? They are amongst us here, and they've been getting in through the underground. They start to use their weapon underground and not knowing, like, yo, you're gonna sink your own continent. And that's what they did. They sunk their own continent trying to destroy the tunnels underneath their cities. So while all this war is going on, there's the Galactic the Galactic Federation steps in, and they figure they have to do something to try to like end this chaos that's going on right now, because now y'all just gonna fuck everything up. Like you done sunk 2 continents already. Like so they get involved and they have a meeting in the Andromeda Galaxy at a planet called the Hotona. They have a meeting in the Hotona planet in the Andromeda Galaxy. And the meeting, it's not like one meeting. This is decades of meetings that this is taking place. But what they're trying to get to, well, at the end, they're trying to get resolution, right? So what they finally get to is that we're going to create a species of people that for neutrality, right? Now, I don't know how much sense it made, but this is the first creation, right? We're not even talking about the Anunnaki yet. There was like 22 more upgrades after they decided we're going to create a people for neutrality on the planet. And we would give this pretty much domain to them. Right? So it's not like your planet, it's not like our planet, it's not like their. Now, let's just create. But we'll create these people. The idea was to have all of their DNA, all of their code, right? Maldekian code, Lyrian code, Drake code, reptilians. And that was one of the stipulations with the reptilians. They wanted they're like, yo, as long as they can use our form. Then we're okay with that. Right? And I think there was some more negotiations because it doesn't look like we really took their form. If anything, it was more humanoid because the Illyrians, the Atlanteans, they're more humanoids, right? They have different features, but they're not so much scaly skin. And the same way that we reproduce just like the other humanoids reproduce. Outside of the reptilians. Reptilians, they lay their eggs that have to be fertilized. And this is why it takes them longer to basically create a legacy of people, right? They can't do it as fast. But the one thing we was given, because everyone had a part to play in the coding and the development of our species, is that we were giving the reptilian brain, which comes in handy. you do need a sense of coldness. You need a sense of fight in you. I think that the reptilians were hoping that it would have had a bigger impact so that if they ever really wanted to be renege on the contract, which they did, then it would be in their favor because we would have the reptilian brain and then they could just brainwash us and then we could just go against anything. And to be honest with you, I don't know if that plan has not worked. You understand what I'm saying to you? Because whenever you hear me say all of us are not Homo sapiens down here, and who are these people? Because real true Homo sapiens we wouldn't want to just kill ourselves. But the things that they're doing is purposely like trying to commit a genocide, right? And they're doing it so coldly. Like, why put poisons? Why put things in our food that's banned in other countries because they figured out that these things are carcinogens? They figure out that these things cause all type of ailments. And yet, you don't, we call ourselves number one, but you don't even do that. You don't even do the least. All you got to do is just say, oh, okay, the rest of the world is not putting this in their food. These foods are banned. No, we're thriving high. We're like, no, these foods. And then you get people who are paid trolls to get in here and be like, well, say dumb rhetoric that is not even reasonable. Like, well, people could choose the food they eat, but, vaccinations is different because you can infect everybody, and if you get sick, then you're going to kill it. You just want me to take it because maybe something is not good in there for me. Allegedly. Don't take my channel, YouTube. I'm just talking bullshit. I don't know. What time? 2:17. I'm 17 minutes over. I gotta go to the doctor. So let's go. Genesis 1:26. Because I told you can't even get off out of Genesis without talking about aliens. Now, it says here in my King James Version, and God said, but I've already told in the Hebrew Bible, it says the Elohim. Now, they're going to tell you when you look this up on the internet that I'm not lying, but they're going to try to make it seem like in this particular instance, yes, usually words that end in I am in the Hebraic language definitely are speaking about plurality. But when it comes to God, and when it comes to this, then they're talking about singularity. Yes, because they want to change it up for their agenda, right? They're going to change it up for their, because they don't want you to know that Elohim meant the gods. Literally, the gods. Right? And who was this Elohim? The Elohim were the ancient genetic scientists of the Galactic Federation. So it would make sense that this Israeli space minister who's been working 30 years, right? It's funny how they try to diminish his knowledge, his expertise because he's 87. Well, he's 87 now, so let's take that into consideration. So all of a sudden he's just nuts. Or is it a coincidence that he's not only 87, but he's also a geneticist? Oh yeah, you didn't know that? What's his name? Haim. Hold on one second. Haim Eshed. It says here, Haim Eshed, alternatively Roman. Oh, this is also Wikipedia, so is an Israeli visiting professor of astronautics in at various space technology research institution, a retired brigadier general in Israeli military intelligence. Ashed was director of space programs for Israeli Ministry of Defense for nearly 30 years, is former chair of the Space Committee of the National Council for Research and Development for the Ministry of Science, Technology, and Space, and a member of the steering committee of the Israeli Space Agency. Ashed is responsible for the launch of 20 Israeli-made satellites, and he is widely cited as the father of the Israeli space program. 1967, Ashed was awarded the Chief of Staff citation, the highest combat decoration. Okay. Easy. I'm trying to look for something particularly, but I'm not going to waste a lot of time on it. From what I have read, that he has some experience with genetics, right? So I don't know if it's a coincidence that, because he's speaking about the Galactic Federation, right? I wasn't even the first to tell you about the Galactic Federation, but because you guys say yesterday you want to talk about aliens, then I said, okay, I'll let them know about Haim Eshed, right? And whatever else they might want to know, because I knew about the Galactic Federation. He knows about the Galactic Federation. He has a little bit of credentials underneath his belt. The only thing they could do to say against him is that he's 87 now, which doesn't really mean a lot, right? Which means that he's getting at the age where he don't care what he says. It's not that he's senile. He don't give a shit now because he's going to die at some point sooner than later. And he just wants us to know again. Just like Judge Joe Brown just came out, yeah, the FBI definitely has something to do. You don't see the FBI suing Judge Joe Brown, right? They don't want to talk about that shit because obviously Judge Joe Brown is right. The King family probably got a crazy lawsuit that's going on right now because they can't disprove that they did not kill Dr. Martin Luther King. So they might as well just settle with an NDA and say, we give you guys $100 million, right? And just shut the fuck up and do. You can't mention it nowhere. Boom. There you go. Sweet. So it was this same Galactic Federation who was a council of genetic doctors. Now, again, I did try to warn everybody, don't come over here because I didn't want some of y'all to know this because I do prefer y'all not to know. Some of y'all. I don't want you to know. You're happy every day going to whatever religious institution you go to, and I'm happy that you go there. So I really don't even want you over here listening to me because it wakes you up too fast. I only want the people who want to be woken up. I don't want nobody else because, and I'll still deal with you guys, but at your level, right? Everybody's not meant to be woken up at the same time, right? But if you're over here, that's kind of your fault. And here we are. And it says, and God said, which we now know is the Elohim. And the Elohim said, which we now know is the many, more than one. Let's just say that, right? So if they use Elohim for God, then that literally translates the gods. And the God said, let us make man in our image after our likeness and let them have dominion over the fish and sea, which corroborates my story about the Hotona Council and them creating a neutral species down here. And it said, this is for you guys. You guys, they will be the neutral party because we can't get along. And obviously, after centuries, this story is going to get turned around. You understand what I'm saying? It's a lot to swallow. I will now go to the comments. Ryan says, it's got me plenty of notes. Research later. Yes, Ryan. Good luck. Good luck trying to find. Here's the good thing, Ryan. It's good and bad. You may not find anything right now, but give it 7 to 8 months. Give it 7 to 8 months, Ryan. Whatever you can't find, I think you're gonna find then, right? I think whatever I said is about to come out in the next 10 months. But I think you'll be able to have a clear understanding for those that's really looking 7 to 8 months. Maybe not right now. One of the things that Trump said the first two things that he said he wants to declassify is the JFK files and the alien files, right? The Pope already came out and pretty much said, yeah, y'all need to embrace yourself for extraterrestrial life. So the Catholic Church has already prepared you guys. Yeah, Trump is about to unleash it because now is the time, bro. Now is the time. And to be honest with you, we are very immature people down here on this planet, right? It's like we just found fire for the first time and we're throwing feces around at each other. We're still a primitive people, bro. We're still very primitive, and this is a young galaxy anyway. So, shout out to Wise Eyes TV. I appreciate everybody. Abria, I seen you. That's my girl. Abria's here. All right, we just rinsed up Abria. We got semi-automatic in the house. He's like, what? What? You guys wanted to talk about aliens? I gave you. We got the paranoia, and I says, yeah, we are young. They just found 6 exoplanets nearby the star system. We young, bro. We not. I'm disappointed. I'm down here like, damn, we need some help, bro. We need some help. I won't go into too much more today. There's more I could go into, especially when it comes to gold and all that other stuff, but we're going to save all of that. But I think you have enough to go off of. So when we talk about, I've taught this, man, here's how I feel. The reptilians, they still here, but the Homo sapiens definitely outnumber. Like I said, they don't procreate faster than Homo sapiens. So what they have to do, they do have some strengths and different things that they could do that we can't do. And they have the knowledge, right? But they have to first put themselves in position, right? They have to find the puppets that they're gonna find is some of these puppets, their families have been in power for centuries. They just keep on switching them out, swapping them out, changing names. Same family, just been in power for centuries, right? Now, they do have human puppets down here that they're going to use this, that, and the third. But we outnumber them, so they have to use a different weapon. They can't just, because if they tried something else and they're not successful at it, oh, it's way too many humans. We're going to run them out, right? And you're underground? Okay, we going underground. Clear this whole motherfucker out. They're not going to jeopardize that. One thing that the reptilians have way more than anybody else is patience. They got way more patience. So, shout out to Larry Carter in the house. Trisha says she's lost in the sauce. Trish, you know I got you. Trish, you don't trip. You don't trip. You are one of the few people here that got my back line, and we talk all the time. So if you need a few hours of consulting and me giving you a personal class, Trish, that ain't about nothing. You understand? And you know, you're one of the few people I give my resources to, right? I don't even give out my resources, Trish. The reason I give out resources and I test people to see how. Now, if the people that I may give them something, and if they don't really gravitate to it, then I kind of know I back off, right? I'm not gonna force a red pill on anybody. I just don't think that's right. But if you was like me, where I wasn't going to stop searching for the truth regardless. So when that first fraternity, they didn't really do nothing with me, I just followed the language. And I'm going to end my show with this. There's another language. There's a human language, obviously, right? But then there's a language that the universe speaks. And I know some people right now, you're going to clock and say he's talking that crazy shit. But if you learn that language now, you're going to see things even get a little bit more interesting. And this is where I say you have to follow your intuition, because you're going to see the omens. You're going to start learning the language, and then anything after that. Simplify, what's up, bro? I didn't mean not to acknowledge you. Shout out to the Black Dragon. Shout out to the Black Dragon in the building. Shout out to Lee Mickles in the building. Oh, okay, Trish. Okay. Now, if you learn the universal language, whoo, that's a powerful one, Jack. I ain't gonna hold you. But the first thing is to understand that you are a duality, right? So it's not so much about the religion, because I think all the religions pretty much they acknowledge that there is a spiritual side to you, right? So it's for you to understand that your spiritual side is not, oh, that's religious shit, I ain't into that. No. It's not religious shit. If anything, the religions use it for a reason, right? It's not religious bullshit. You have to acknowledge your duality, your physical part, and then your metaphysical part, which we call the spirit. There's a lot with the spirit. You got the spirit, the soul. That's a whole different education, again, that I learned in the mystery schools. That's not for this video. But I think that's all I'm going to say about that video for now. Now, you want to hear some crazy shit? Here's what's really crazy. I didn't even start at the beginning. It sounded like I started at the beginning, right? Because I'm telling you about when the Dracos, the reptilians came here and their Death Star. That's what it's called, a Death Star. Reptilians came here and their Death Star. So it sounded like I started from the beginning, right? I did not. if I started from the beginning, that would blow your mind even more. So I just had to start from somewhere where it wouldn't like even sound more crazier than it already did to you. And the only thing that kind of gives me credibility a little bit is the 87-year-old senile Israeli space minister that's also telling us about the Galactic Federation. But I'm not worried about it because I know I got a good feeling. Just give us some time after Trump get in. And you're going to hear more about this Galactic Federation. And then I might give another class. I will give another class after that. Because once the government, the Pentagon, the Department of Defense already said it. They already got SpaceX. Oh, that's what I wanted to show you. It's not SpaceX, it's Space Force. But why you think? Wait, they changed their website? Space Force changed their website. This shit used to make all type of noise. Hold on, y'all. Give me a second. Did they really change the site? No. Here is www.spaceforce.com. They took the music away? I don't know what they're doing. It says an incoming signal, initializing Guardians, right? Now, it looks crazy, right? But this is an actual... Now, here's what I've been doing. I've been going to civilian, right? Now, you can go to enlisted, but chances are you're not enlisted. This is a real military branch. Depending on your education, you might be able to get in as an officer, right? But you can also get in as a... There's the music. I'm telling you, I'm on this thing all the time. Right? And they have different jobs over here. Well, right now, it seems like they don't got that much going on. Because they gave out a lot of jobs. Before they had a lot of jobs. It looks like now they only got like 11 jobs. I'm in technology, so I will come over here. Information technology. And I just felt it was good security. I'm not done applying. They did call me back for one position. He actually called me back to say I was overqualified for the position. But I just wanted y'all to know that a lot of money is being put into Space Force. It's not like a made up branch of the military. It's not even under, you probably think it's under like the Air Force. It's not under the Air Force. It's its own entity, just like the Air Force. So now we have the Army, the Navy, the Marines, the Air Force, Space Force. So I just wanted you guys to know that as well. All right. So that being said, man, are you from Detroit, Janine? All right, Janine Hollis. Janine, if you will, hit the like button, but do subscribe too. We can't wait to have intelligent people over here. Here's the thing, Janine. This is the Poker Face Society, and we believe that critical thinking is absolutely critical over here. So what I learned was the stuff that I know, like I usually do give resources, but I didn't give you no sources for the shit that I just spewed. I'm well aware I just spewed a bunch of stuff and I gave y'all no sources for it. And I'm not going to give you sources for that yet. I will give you sources once Trump release. Let Trump do what he going to do. Because I'm not worried about if the Galactic Federation exists. I already know they exist. But let Trump or one of these other countries say we're going to release the information on the Galactic Federation, and then I would give you my sources. You understand what I'm saying? So, but for the most part, what I had to do was discover, how do you give them this food without seeming like some conspiracy theorist, right? So when I do speak, I will let you know if I'm going down conspiracy lane. But this is why I tried to give you so many sources to things that can really serve as evidence or some type of quantitative data at minimum. But with things that are top secret, it's not as easy. And this sensitive information is not as easy, right? So it's not that I don't have the sources. It's just that, no disrespect, I'm not going to give pearls to swine. Not saying you guys are the swine, but you have to understand everyone that is in your presence is not for you. And like, this is just wisdom, right? So first I say, let them go first. Let them, they know too. I'm not the only one that know the Galactic Federation. Me and the old man from Israel, they know. So let them go first, right? They, even Saddam Hussein, I think, was going to say what was going to go down. Like, I think he was going to tell the truth too. Big Detroit in the house. Big Detroit. Thank you, Ryan. Okay. That's all I wanted to know. Ryan said it. Ryan said it. Thank you. I feel, you know why I be hesitating to get off, Ryan? I think you hit it on the nose. In my head, as I'm talking to you guys, I'm really saying, yo, did you hit all the points? That's why my show be so slow in the beginning, because I have to hit certain things so that it is coherent and comprehensive. And before I get off, I hate riding down the road and be like, bro, you didn't even talk about that. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I was wasting time for. But that being said, let me get my punk ass to my doctor before I get another phone call. I got 3 phone calls from my doctor today while I'm on the live with you. I'm BSing. I was supposed to be there at 8, so they got me there at 2, which is crazy because I gotta be somewhere at 3. So, all right, I see y'all tomorrow. You know what we talking about tomorrow? You guys want to know? Talking about a guy named Frank Olson. You guys want to? I'm letting you know for a reason. We're going to talk about Frank Olson tomorrow. So now you know. So you got all night now to figure out, who is Frank Olson? You tell me. I'm going to be back tomorrow. You tell me who Frank Olson is or was. With that being said, you guys have a blessed one. I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Peace out.